These original instrumentals have been composed, performed, produced, recorded, mixed, mastered by M. Fassel for Fassel Prod M. 2023 Copyright all rights reserved.
In history, of course, the Negro had no place in this curriculum. He was pictured as a human being of the lower order, unable to subject passion to reason, and therefore useful only when made the hewer of wood and the drawer of water for others. No thought was given to the history of Africa except so far as it had been a field of exploitation for the Caucasian. You might study the history as it was offered in our system from the elementary school throughout the university, and you would never hear Africa mentioned except in the negative. You would never thereby learn that Africans first domesticated the sheep, goat, and cow, developed the idea of trial by jury, produced the first stringed instruments, and gave the world its greatest boon in the discovery of iron. You would never know that prior to the Mohammedan invasion about 1000 AD these natives in the heart of Africa had developed powerful kingdoms which were later organized as the Songhai Empire on the order of that of the Romans and boasting of similar grandeur. What were the Egyptians? In contemporary descriptions of the ancient Egyptians, this question is never raised. Eyewitnesses of that period formally affirm that the Egyptians were blacks. On several occasions Herodotus insists on the Negro character of the Egyptians and even uses this for indirect demonstrations. For example, to prove that the flooding of the Nile cannot be caused by melting snow, he cites, among other reasons he deems valid, the following observation: it is certain that the natives of the country are black with the heat. To demonstrate that the Greek oracle is of Egyptian origin, Herodotus advances another argument. Lastly, by calling the dove black, they, the Dodonaians, indicated that the woman was Egyptian. The doves in question symbolize two Egyptian women allegedly kidnapped from Thebes to found the oracles of Dodona and Libya. In his geography, Strabo mentioned the importance of migrations in history and, believing that this particular migration had proceeded from Egypt to Ethiopia, remarks, Egyptians settled Ethiopia and Caucasus. Once again, it is agreed, despite his chauvinism, who informs us that the Egyptians, Ethiopians, and Colchians belong to the same race, thereby confirming what Herodotus had said about the Colchians. The opinion of all the ancient writers on the Egyptian race is more or less summed up by Gaston Maspero, 1846 to 1916, by the almost unanimous testimony of ancient historians. They belonged to an African race, read, Negro, which first settled in Ethiopia, on the Middle Nile. Following the course of the river, they gradually reached the sea. Moreover, the Bible states that Mesraim, son of Ham, brother of Cush, the Ethiopian, and of Canaan, came from Mesopotamia to settle with his children on the banks of the Nile. 8 According to the Bible, Egypt was peopled by the offspring of Ham, ancestor of the blacks. The descendants of Ham are Chus, Mesraim, Phut and Canaan. The descendants of Chus are Saba, Hevila, Sabatha, Rigma and Sabathacha. Chus was the father of Nemrod. He was the first to be conqueror on the earth. Mesraim became the father of Ludim, Anamim, Labim, Nifthuhim, Fethrusim, Chisluhim. Canaan became the father of Sid, his firstborn, and Heth. P for the peoples of the Near East. Mesraim still designates Egypt. Canaan, the entire coast of Palestine and Phoenicia, Senir, which was probably the site from which Nemrod left for Western Asia, still indicates the kingdom of Nubia.
Now you see, whatever you may want to call it, right? I don't knock you for whatever you want to call it, or however you want to perceive it. Because my job is not to make you think the way I think, or see the way I see. But my channel has been dedicated to knowledge, information, show and prove, because of things like this. You understand me? What you just heard were different references to the true origins and history of the Egyptians. Now there's way more than that, of course. If you know my channel, if you know me, you know I got sources for days. I didn't want to overdo it, but they whitewash everything. You can call it systemic racism, you can call it white supremacy, you can call it what you want. Okay? This is not the debate. The debate is not even a debate, because I'll demolish you motherfuckers, but what's going on is our history has been erased or whitewashed. So now when a black man lays claim to the true histories of things, the world is so Europeanized. And that's even improper, because they're not from white folks. Quote unquote white folks aren't Europeans, but just for understanding's sake only, color codes used loosely. You know, the education system, the legal system, the religious systems, the systems in general, the medical systems, everything has been Europeanized, whitewashed. So when you, as a black man or woman, bring up the true essence of history that has been, you know, systematically whitewashed to keep it a certain way, you start to get torn down. Now this is the reason why my books are so important, why a library is so important, why knowledge is so important. Because they're trying to shut us up. They're trying to make sure that we keep it a certain way. And so when Kevin Hart says that the Egyptians were black, he's not even kind of wrong. He's absolutely right. But it does not fit in with the systematic whitewashing. You understand? It wakes too many people up. Now you have to go watch old movies and see how all the mistakes and the whitewashing goes, and it opens a can of worms that the world is not ready for. But the black man and woman color codes used loosely has been ready for years. This is why my whole channel is dedicated to history, law, these things. Go to my playlist, watch them, get the correct information. This information that Kevin Hart brought up to the world, my children know this and can prove this and cite references, etc., etc. So family, we had Kyrie, Kanye, and now Kevin. Check it out.
Read, nigga, read!
We gonna get straight to the point. We gonna get this information out here. We gonna change the narrative.
Shout out my man King Odds. If you haven't already subscribed to the YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe to King Odds' YouTube channel. A lot of great content, good discussions, and a lot of eye-opening information from true and honest perspectives. Make sure you get your little book of
Peace and blessings, family, and salute to the God King Oz, a dope brother, a woke brother, father, and the author of the little book of everything. Do me a favor, man. Join the family, tell a friend to tell a friend, like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Don't cheat yourself, treat yourself.
And I want to give a silverback shout out to my brother King Dumas on this little book of everything. And it's packed from page to page with nothing but information that the people in the community needs. I don't know how he decided what goes in this book for each individual that he personally writes one for, but he knocked mine out of the park. Thank you, Brother King Dumas, and everybody should have this little book of everything. Nothing but information. Thank you, brother. Much love.
Y'all know who it is, Elijah Lamar, tapping in from the BMF TV series. I need everybody to go ahead and subscribe to King Oz's page right now. KINGOZ, King Oz. Dude got great content and dope information for you to go ahead and take in. Trust me, you won't regret it. Subscribe.